Hey, how's it going, everyone? Just back in with another, just kind of like a brainstorming session related to the Mark of the Beast and the elect, and bring out a couple verses and just talk about the microchip and how I don't think that that makes sense ever. And but first, I have posted a 4-part series on my golf channel, where I put videos and stuff. So I made a few changes to my swing, and I'm kind of excited about it. And so for people who are into golf and want to know the concepts, I approach golf very similar to the way that I do, this, channel, spiritual, the Bible. I like to think about, the concepts and like what works and what doesn't. So I just posted that, and then if you're a new person to golf, it will benefit you a lot. And then if you play a lot, you're already really good. It may not, because you probably already know those concepts, but just an FYI on that. If people want to go check that out. But here's the deal. Okay, I want to talk about the Mark of the Beast. So why it cannot be a microchip. It just doesn't make sense. So we need to now, like, I literally just try and think of this because like there's a lot of things going on and we're close to it. All of this wrapping up, that what narrative would ever be used to make it go in the hand. Okay. So I think everybody would assume that it's some kind of microchip, that would go in the hand. I can't think of any other device or something that could be in the hand that would be needed to buy and sell. I just can't think of one. There might be, but some kind of electronic device that connects to your bank account, wirelessly. So, okay, so one, you could take the route that it's financial in nature. Okay, so there's no paper money anymore. So, but that doesn't, right away, that doesn't mean that you need a microchip, okay? Like, we already don't have paper. Like, you just can use your credit card, like wherever you go and all that. That doesn't, just because we have a cashless society doesn't mean that the next thing you need is a microchip. We already basically have a cashless society. So that purely doesn't make sense. So like the next step would be, well, they don't want people exchanging cash because of this narrative. And then they also don't want you touching your credit card and putting it in a slot and then pulling it out, because that may be able to transmit this stuff. Okay, so fair enough. Okay, so that could be the reason that they don't even want you to have a credit card either. So they want you to like put it in there. But what would debunk that is what I posted recently, where Amazon stores, and this technology is like a long time ago. It's like simple and should have actually been implemented a long time ago, by the way. Like, this technology is something that people should have used, because it's not more or less evil than a credit card. Is like scanning your palm or even a retina scan. And then the good thing that would do for us is that we would like never have fraud, on our credit card, because unless somebody like literally takes like print of your hand or, like somehow gets a retina scan or an eyeball made of you or something, you can basically not have any fraud on your credit card. And so the reason why the companies don't do that is they want fraud, because then you'll not even notice sometimes that like your card's getting charged and like they want you to pay for it. It's just, they don't care. And so these companies don't care about the people using their products and that kind of thing. And so what I do, by the way, is like a hack is I get an email sent to me anytime my credit card gets swiped. I put a $0 like threshold on it. And so every time I do a transaction, I see it, in my email, and I look at the amount and then I just delete the email. So I basically can never have a charge on my card that I don't know, like that I just did. So because, like I said, I get an email right away. So essentially like fraud proof, and then, but, like the hand thing or the retina scan and all that, I mean, no one can ever use your card ever unless they like have a handprint of you. So, it's actually like, that would be the solution. No one would be like, no, you have to put a microchip in your hand to be able to use your card. But people would just be like, no, like I can just hover my hand over a scanner and then I don't touch anything at all. And then I don't have to have that thing in my hand either, which could get infected with with this as well. Who knows? Like all that kind of stuff. So no, like it doesn't make sense, from that vantage point. Like a cashless society narrative inducing this, that doesn't make sense. And so because there's a better solution, that, to be honest with you, should have been implemented already. And then would have actually helped people, you know, like their hard-earned money would get protected. And then, you know, it's no more or less evil than a credit card. You know, it's just a form of authentication that's, you know, based on this credit system. And so there's no like biblical you're evil because you're getting your palm scanned or something. I mean, like that's extreme, you know. And then if that were evil, then the system would never get to here. God would have blown up everything already. So that there's no issues with that. And like scanning your palm to access your credit card is not the mark of the beast or anything like that. Like that's actually like, it would actually be rolling back the evil, because then it would not allow those people who do those kind of things to do that, and they'd have to go find something productive to do, or like find another way to scam people in other ways, but they're not accessing our credit cards. So, you know, it would be like sort of taking a step back from the evil kind of thing. So the system, you know, could provide that solution, and then people would want that because everybody and their grandmother knows now about the mark of the beast, and it says hand, and then you can just search YouTube and like you're gonna get like a list of videos like, is this the mark of the beast? Look at what would they say if the videos that saying that, okay, they want to put something in here and that's not the mark of the beast? Like, what would people be saying? Like, how do you like defend that or whatever? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, at least here they can say, well, the Bible says hand. By the way, for people new to my channel, you look up the word dexios. It means hand or strong side, you know, or your side. And so that's how God has encoded, you know, this agenda, you know, this evil agenda, and to make it successful to a lot of people in the quote unquote 501c3 church. So, you know, I think people kind of know that at this point, but just to sort of, you know, bury this idea that the mark of the beast is a microchip. Okay, so like the next thing I could think of maybe is contact tracing, because they want to know where you've been and all that. So, but we've seen now that they have these QR codes on your phone, and it looks like that's good enough for people. And then certain people are buying into that. So like, why wouldn't that be okay? Then let's say some people don't have phones. Well, you just put a bracelet on, I guess, because that's what they're doing with these QR codes for people who don't have phones. What's wrong with that? You know, like, why would that not be a good enough solution? Well, I would be like, no, I don't want you to have that bracelet that has to go into your hand. Like, what difference does it make? Like, a person could take the bracelet off, or they could take that thing and it can come out of their hand if they really want to take it out, okay? And then the risk of it infected and all that kind of stuff. And then it's kind of like quasi, like also permanent at the same time, because, I mean, it's like into your skin. Like, at least the bracelet, once this thing is over, you could just take it off, you know, and then don't need to do contact tracing anymore, and then it's over. But you know, it wouldn't work, you know, and it wouldn't be like practical or necessary, because there's another solution that's just as good, and it's not the mark of the beast. And so that's why this is it, because it's the most evil out of all those, because it's in your body, you know. And then I would not be surprised at all if there's tracking in it. So like, what's better than that for quote unquote them? We know that they is God, but what's better? It's like, it's in your body, you know, it's like in your whatever mRNA and all that. And then if they have some tracking devices in there, it's like, how do you shake that off? It's like absolutely permanent, you know, like how could they not know? And then if this doesn't work, then okay, your body just flushes it out. But like, if it works even a little bit, there's obviously some residue, you know, some devastation, I would say, for us that come by here, but like there's some impact, some footprint of it in your body, you know. And then technology could easily, like, you know, determine that, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So if the government was really like into tracking, that's the way to do it, you know, because it's like, it's in your, again, it's in your cells. So if they ever wanted to track you and to put it here, you could just take it out and just leave it there, and then you could put it back in, I guess. So, you know, you have a lot of cuts here, but like, you're not required to keep it into your hand. There's not going to fuse to your skin or anything like that. And then they'd have to go on like a trust basis, you know, that it's actually in your hand, and then you didn't take it out and then put it somewhere else, so people don't know where you are, and that kind of thing. And then the same with a bracelet. They'll have to trust that you actually had it on, just like your phone, that you actually have your phone and not somebody else's and all that. So there will always be that element of trust, you know, like they're not going to fuse the thing to like your bones or something like that. Like, that's absolutely insane. I would hope that the entire world would not accept that. So it doesn't make sense, you know, at all. And then the reason I know it is more and more is that certain people don't want to talk about it. And it's like, it just happens to be by coincidence all of the religious people on YouTube. Okay, it's like, wow. It's like, oh, really? All the ones that were pushing the microchip, and then all the people in the 501c3 and all the people that are collecting ties and have an actual, like, organization. They're the ones who seem to be the most stubborn to not change their position on it. And so it allows them to push more of the government's agenda because they're talking about an evil in the Bible to be in the future, and don't worry about what's going on now. It's like, don't look here, don't look there. Don't look here, but look over there, into the way into the future or whatever. And so they could keep kicking the can down the road, and then that kind of thing, And so all of a sudden, all of the people like who have like a big following and all that, they seem to still be lobbying for the government, in some way. And then I just saw a video, Call for an Uprising, thinks that these UFOs are demons. Okay, so like there's demons here, which his whole channel is dedicated to that. And then there's also demons out there. What kind of a world is that, you dummy? Like, was it just demons everywhere? Okay, like there's no goodness anywhere. Where's God? Like, he's just squished into a dimension that no one even knows where he is or whatever. Where's God? Okay, Call for an Uprising, you dummy. These people are stupid, man. So the demons are in the truth community, okay? Like they're everywhere. And then obviously the non-truth community, they're like flamboyant, like about it. They're proud of it, and all that kind of stuff. So, it's like in their logos, okay? Like even somebody who's quote unquote innocent, like Steph Curry, the basketball player, he has a 666 hand sign as his logo on his hat. These little guys is walking around with that, and on his golf cart, and like Drake, the rapper, like he's the sixth god and all that kind of, they're just like out with it, and like doing all this stuff, and like that's all they do all day. And so that's, come on, like where the demons are here, okay? That's absolutely ridiculous. So big shocker that the truth community is very confused, okay? Like they don't know, okay? So like that's ridiculous. That's what's going on. But it just makes the Bible more and more true. I think it's obvious now that this is the mark of the beast. It's very, very clear. And then, so if that is a mark of the beast, then obviously the Bible's true, because then we need to define what the mark of the beast is. And then it lends support to the last book. And then so now it's Christ's second coming, and I just want people to understand that I've been talking about the elect recently because they dictate the timing of the end times. According to Matthew 24:22, you add those two together, you get 66. 2-4 is 44. Okay. And then 22 is a label for the earth. So when the 2-4, the 44 are on the earth, which is the number 22, then these are the days that we're talking about. And then you add them together, you get 66. It's the beast system. So this could not be more obvious. This is talking about now. So this literally, the number reads out like a story too. When the 2-4 are on the earth, 22, then these words are going to come true. Except those days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. And so the elect determined the timing of the end times. So I had some girl come by, some prophetess or whatever, come by, I deleted her comment because she's an idiot, saying that the elect, the number 144 is not literal. Okay, so everybody, I want people to know, this is like, it actually is going to be funny when all you retards find out the Bible is actually literally true. So everything is not literal to all these people. 2 witnesses? No, not 2. 144K? No, God doesn't know how to count. It's whatever it is, some other number. Okay, don't worry. It's 2 point, according to her, I guarantee she'll be like, it's 2 billion. It's all the Christians or all these monsters and all that kind of stuff. So that fire is not real fire, according to her, because I asked her, first question, first of all, I was like, you're not supposed to be teaching the Bible if you're a female in the end times. And then I'm like, what's your stance on hell? And she's like, oh, I'm the prophetess. I don't know. I wasn't given revelation. Not really. You don't know how to read. Okay. All the verses support that this earth is hell. And then she's dismissed. So I just want people to know this is an amazing time because these truths are so obvious. And why are people against, proclaiming them when they're just so obvious? And so, well, there must be that it's true then. And all these people are actors. Okay. And me and the people that come by here, we're not actors. And so this is exciting, and so again, I don't need that. I knew right from her channel that just looked at it quickly, it was just complete gibberish, but you just got to give one and then you find out, okay, well, she's not going to bite on that. Gone. Bye. Take care, prophetess or whatever. Go keep prophesying wherever you're prophesying. And so, yeah, so like I did a lesson recently that no lie is of the truth. Okay. And so you're already dismissed by and all that. So that's the cool thing about the truths that I teach here, they're just obvious and they're amazing. And then when you tell people them, they want to leave. Oh, really? Wow, that's strange. And so that's amazing, to me. And so, sorry, back to the elect here. This was the point I want to make. This group knows that they're not going to die because they've been sealed. Again, watch that video where I go through all the verses in Revelation 14. And then, I did a search for the elect. They're aware now that they have that power, that they're not going to die because they've been sealed prior to the plagues. And so the destruction. So they're not afraid of anything. Okay. They're not afraid of this kind of wearing this or a virus or bacteria or even a car accident or anybody coming to harm them. They're not afraid. Okay. And the double layer of that too, and I'm just using myself because I would assume they have that similar type mindset. Even if that were the case, they're still not afraid of that either. Okay. Because they know that they're in hell. So out of hell is out of the body, and then in the spirit world, and then with Christ, your soul goes back to God according to what the Bible says, and so, they know that. Okay. So they're not afraid to die on any level. And so, none of this stuff is just stupid. It's just complete nonsense. It's like, oh, this thing will save you and you'll live longer and all. They're like, what are you talking about? They're not afraid of dying because they're not going to die. And so any mechanism that they're selling you to you're going to be healthier and you're going to be okay or whatever, they already know they're okay. Okay. They know that nothing's going to harm them ever. And so that gives them a great deal of boldness. And so I want people to know that's the group that dictates the timing of the end time. So just let's for a moment put ourselves in that group. We're not allowed to ever say that we are, but let's say hypothetically that we are. And then you obviously know that God exists. You know that God has then chosen you and given you certain information, and let you know that he's about to return. Okay. So why would you take part in any of this? For even more than a day that's necessary. It does not make sense. God exists. You're not going to die. So why would you take part in this or anything like that? You'd be like, all you people are stupid. Okay. So just know that, and so they're the group that it says here, there should no flesh be saved, means that they'd be on the brink of suicide because they know that God exists and they don't want to be a part of anything like this. And it's obviously going to get more and more restrictive, and then evil. And then they're just playing with the world, the leaders. And so they're just making new things up every day. I saw a video recently that scientists know the longest a human body can live. And obviously it's way different than the number the Bible says, of course, big shocker. They're just making up nonsense every single day. And so that's why Christ will return any day now, and so even if we're not in this group, we could just simulate it because we understand the way they think. Okay. Because everybody thinks that this world's stupid. And so that's why you have the people like that prophetess or whatever that came by here. And then you have end times teachers say you can take this and still be saved. Their job is to prolong this, down the road. Oh, no, it's not this. No, it's something worse or whatever. Don't worry. All that kind of stuff. My job is to let people know it's on the order of days. And then, like I've said, if I am one of them, it is on the order of days without a doubt. It's not funny, but it's exciting, for sure. And so how could it not be? And then if I'm not in that group, I'm infinitely more excited too, because it's even faster then. So my timeline that I've set is going to be even quicker than that because they're more righteous and more just. The amount that I complain, they complain more. And so they're going to be even more on the edge than me. And so that's amazing. I love that too. So that's excellent. And so just know that 2 Ezra 15:8, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. We have the souls of the unjust complaining continually now. So what are they saying? So it's impossible for God to not return soon if the Bible's true. It has to be. Because either he's not true, he's going to return later, and people think there's going to be more evil than this, and then he's going to return. Then we would all collectively who hate this world, we would be more righteous than that God. because he's like, no, this is not enough. It's like, no, whatever. I'm not talking about the wickedness that's going on here and they profanely. No, I'm talking about more of that later down the road. And I'm going to save another group who's going to complain during that time. That doesn't make sense. You and I would be more righteous than that God. So that's dismissed. Anybody who thinks it's going to become better and then come back to this, like, how? Okay, like, they're not taking the foot off the gas of anything, like teachers wearing skirts and this and everything. They're just like full throttle, all of it, all that kind of stuff. And so that doesn't make sense, or anything like that. And so this is just going to increase, and then it has to, because like, why would they stop? Like, what narrative? Like, oh, sorry, all that debt and all that, my bad. We'll figure out something, that's fair or whatever for everybody. Okay. That's absolutely ridiculous if anybody believes that at this point. So it has to be now, just again, by looking at all the different variables. And then most importantly, this group, the elect, because they're going to now know that they're not going to die. And so, and I want people to understand, this is a group that goes wherever God is. Okay, so if they know now, because we know now that God exists, their mind is with that God completely. Their mind is out of this world. Okay, so they want to be there. And so if there's enough stuff happening that they don't like, then they go there, because they're the type that follow God wherever he goes, in the physical or in the spiritual. Just know that. Okay, that's literal. All you people out there who don't think that the Bible's literal, you're going to find out the hard way, it looks like. And then I'm not stupid enough to want to see that. Okay, I know what's going on. I know God exists, and I know that these words are true. Okay, and so I know that fire is not symbolic fire, like that prophetess tried to come here and try and sell that, all that kind of stuff. You people are all stupid, just terrible actors at this point. So it has to be the case. This is why this is such an exciting thing. And then again, the numerology here in 2nd Ezra 2E is 33, 15:8 is 23. So you have 33, 33, 66. So this again refers to the times that we live in now. So it has to be that we're living in those days, because all the quote truth community, they're just willfully ignorant, and like they're obviously just actors. I think it's pretty clear to us now. So the entire Christian church is in on it. All the quote unquote truthers are in on it. And so all of this must be for a very, very small group of people who are complaining all the time, and a group like this is complaining all the time because they're complaining about the truth community too, who are just a bunch of Satanists. And then the most fundamental thing is that they're away from God. Okay, because like it says, in Revelation 14, that they're the type that follows God wherever he goes. So they're very, very aware of the fact that God's not here, okay? Because we're in hell, okay? So like, it's not funny, but how much more obvious could it be with all these retards roaming around? So just know that, okay? The Bible is very, very literal in a lot of places, and so the elect now know that God exists, and they're not going to die. And so they're not going to take part in any of this kind of stuff. And so why would they? It's like, what does it benefit them wearing this and then going into Chipotle, or why would they do that and dishonor God and then do this and then this or whatever? They don't want any of this. Even prior to this, there would be enough, ammo for them to say, no, hell no. And so this is now worldwide. And so everybody is under this narrative. And so this has to be the time, where Christ will return. Hope everyone's doing well. Bye.